MyLearning's Fusion platform provides a digital signage module that allows you to display information on screens around your school. If you have permission to edit the digital signage, the icon will appear in your Quick Links panel on your dashboard. This brief video will give you a quick overview on how to create signs, how to collate these into shows, and how to use these shows on screens around your school. The first screen you're taken to is the sign bank. This is where you create new signs and edit the contents of your signs. Just click here to create a new sign. Give the sign a name. And then you have your standard editor where you can put all sorts of information onto here. You can display text, images, even videos. And there's also a number of gadgets available which allow you to display things like your Facebook and Twitter feeds, a calendar. You can show a PDF. You can even embed a web page on here. And of course you can show your school blog. And when you've finished editing your sign, you just click to create. At any time you can click to edit one of your signs, and you can also clone an existing sign ready to make a new one. Once you have all your signs, the next step is to check your configuration. You can adjust your display time, that's how long each sign shows for. And you can also adjust the fade time, that's how long it takes to transition from one sign to the next. You can also change the default background colour of any of your slides by clicking in this box and choosing a colour. When you're happy with your configuration, you simply update. The next step is to put together a show. A show is just a collection of signs put together to create a show that you would show on a particular screen. I've got a number of different shows here, so I have one that I use when I have parents visiting. I have another with the lunch menus, and I use this to display it near the school dining hall. And I have another show here specifically for the reception area of school. To create a show, you just click the button, give the show a title, and then click Create. So here's my new show, and I'm now going to go and add some signs to that show by clicking on the Manage cogwheel. And I simply click New Sign to choose which of the signs I would like to add to this particular show. And there you have my show. I can just click and drag to change the order of the signs. I can enable and deactivate any of these signs. And I can also override the default settings for the colour and the timings of each of the individual signs. At the top of the page, I can also override the default configuration. So although the default configuration may have said that all the signs have a white background, just for this slideshow, I can choose a different colour. To view this show, I use the URL that's available on the page. And you can see it has the yellow background that we mentioned. You can also use this QR code to display this show on any device. If I now go back to the shows list, you can see that I have a default show. You can see that each individual show has its own URL. But what you can do, for example at the school reception, is to use the default digital signage URL, and then whichever show is highlighted as being the default one, that's the one that will show on the device that's using this URL. So I can leave it as the reception one, but when parents come to call, just quickly change to the parents screen, and then when they've finished, go back to reception. It's a very quick, easy way of swapping between the shows, but just using one URL. Or of course, I can use this URL just on the screen that's outside the school dining hall. I may want individual members of staff who don't have the admin login to edit these signs and shows, So I can click on the Editors tab, choose a member of staff, and assign that person as an editor. And they'll appear in the list on the right. And these people will then have the digital signage link in their quick links area. So that's how to use digital signage using your My Learning Fusion platform.